where to start. Okay, well, let's start from the beginning. About 6.5 years ago, I was working on a song. I had like a really weak structure. The writing was like all over the place, but the concept was there. And so I was speaking with some friends and they told me about this guy, David A, and they were like, you should show it to him. So I ended up in his studio, which was in this like weird basement of this industrial building. I showed him the song, and the first time I showed it to him, he had just gotten out of a partnership with an MC, and I was an MC looking for a producer. And I was like, oh my God, like this would be perfect for us to work together. He was sort of mentioning that he was wanting to get into like DJing and stuff. And I was pretty linked up during the time in downtown Montreal. And I was like, man, like if you want, I could get you gigs. He's like, oh man, that would be insane. That would be awesome. If you need someone to like hype the crowd, I could do that. Also, if you wanted to, maybe we could do like a video together because my background was in film. So a couple weeks after that meeting, I came to him with the idea of remixing Barbra Streisand by Duck Sauce.
Barbra Streisand.
Barbra Streisand, I wanna be your man.
I was at the time like looking for like instrumental based songs that I could like throw vocals over because I didn't know how to produce. So I came to him with that idea, and that was before Barbra Streisand was like at all a thing. So when I presented that idea to him, he was like, nah, I'm not down. I don't really like this song, but come into my studio, I'll record you so it'll sound professional. So I wrote the verse, I went in to record it, and in the verse it goes,
David A makes a nice remix for me to spit, and I make it.
when I said that in the verse in the studio, he was like, oh man, like you said my name in the verse. And I was like, well, yeah, you were supposed to do the remix with me. He was like, oh, well, now I got to jump on the remix. And we filmed this video with like a lot of familiar faces. When we released the video, it was November 11th, 2010. It was the first time we released something together. When we released it, we gained like 10,000 views on YouTube in a week, which was like crazy at the time. So we were like, oh my God, like this is so cool. We actually got booked off of that video alone. And then about a month after, we released our first original single together, Party in the Air. The intention was to do a song David A featuring TB1, and then I was gonna do a song TB1 featuring David A, and we were gonna do remixes together and stuff. And at that time we continued, we went like original,
One for me and one for you. Making drinks all night,
remix,
and it goes like this.
original,
Drinks up in the air, drinks up in the air. Get wet,
remix.
gotta love the life.
We were releasing like a lot of music and gaining a lot of exposure, and then Dave got an opportunity to produce for this pop band, so he went and did that. I at the time got seen by the local radio station, the Beat 92.5, and they hired me as a host. So I was hosting on the radio, Dave was producing for this pop band. We weren't really working so much together at that time, but I had a few tracks that I wanted to finish up, so I kept like, you know, knocking on his door, was like, yo Dave, like, you know, I really want to finish this. He was working with the pop band. He realized that the pop band angle wasn't for him, and he wanted to get into some dubstep. And I stumbled upon an interview with Skrillex where he was rapping.
And y'all better fucking come out to Roost and Lilyhammer, or you a motherfucking idiot. Because if you don't, you miss the biggest party of the year and your lifetime, doing all-day crime, making rhymes, making motherfucking slime, like the Ghostbusters, motherfucking bust up, making motherfucking Roadhog say.
I was like, yo, Dave, like, you gotta sample this. You gotta like put this in a song and like make him rap in a song, because obviously Skrillex was not rapping on music. And we shot a video, we put it out. So Dave came up with Skrillyhammer. And about 2 weeks later, Skrillex posted it on Facebook and Twitter saying like, this is why I should never rap, but this guy made a really dope track, check it out. So that night, Dave started getting like 1 million messages in his email like Skrillex sent me here on YouTube. So he started freaking out. He came over to my place right away. We were like, oh my God, like what do we do? You know, like what's the next step? And this was like before The repost game was strong before really like the cosigns in EDM existed. And we just like had no clue what to do with this like huge burst of exposure. So the thing that we figured was the best move was to go back to work. So Dave worked on Squirrely Girl.
Skimming nuts in the mouth, Squirrely Girl.
And we released Squirrely Girl like 2 or 3 weeks after the explosion from Skrilleyhammer. Quickly, we built a very big audience thanks to Skrillex, and it was creating a huge exposure for David A, and we were piggybacking that exposure for TB1. And together we started getting booked more and more. And what ended up happening was we just started throwing these crazy, super energetic parties. Dave was DJing, I was on the mic. So we got back into it. We were focusing on the David A solo project. We were focusing on the TB1 solo project. We were doing all sorts of collaborative remixes together. But all throughout the while, we were both working on each other's projects behind the scenes. And then our brands continued to grow, and we were opening for Dubs in Quebec City. We did our show. Party was crazy. It was wild. And then Dubs came on, and we realized how much exposure they had and that they were pitched as a DJ duo, where we were always pitching ourselves as an MC and a DJ, like separate entities, but performing together. Maybe we're pitching it the wrong way. Maybe we should just pitch this as a DJ duo. Still, it'll be an MC and a DJ, but let's switch up the pitch and the brand. So we moved up north to my country house for like 3 months, and we worked on a ton of music, just like working and vibing off one another and just like really figuring out what we wanted to do. We built a whole website. We figured like a blog was important at the time. So we did that, and we changed our name to Wonderful. Now this was like the greatest gift and curse that could have happened, because we started to get booked more and more. The music was like on point with the branding. We started to do like a monthly, sort of podcast, and we had like really cool guests on. Like Nightmare once did a guest mix. We were working with a management team, Apex, like they were in Miami at the time, now in LA. We were getting some cool gigs. We ended up doing a few festivals, traveling a lot, but like it was never really popping past the bubble that we expected. And that was pretty frustrating. It was like, we're working so hard at this, we know what we have, and it's just not happening. So we ended up getting booked in Hawaii, and during that time, like Dave and I went through like this major like, whoa, we need to like figure out a different sound, a different vibe, So we were like, all right, let's strip the personality and let's focus on the music. So January 2015 was like the music era. And we started to see a jump in numbers, and we started to see like this huge climb in popularity because people were like really, really loving the music. And we took a backseat with the personality. We let the music speak through. Come June, July, August, then we were like, okay, you know what? That was great. Let's start implementing a little bit of personality also. When I started out in music, I started out with comedy. I actually never thought that I would be doing like legit music. And I was like, you know what? I think now would be a great time to reincorporate that into our brand. And I wrote Bruh, It's Lit.
Bruh, it's lit. Bruh, it's lit. From my roaches to my hat, I'm the shit.
I ended up going to New York and filming with like a bunch of DJ homies in New York, and the video like came out really great. We ended up getting a ton of views, and like our fan base grew a lot because of it. I think that was really like the nail in the coffin kind of, because Dave saw the project going more into my direction than the way he wanted to go. After that time, we released a couple of songs also, and then we released like featuring Dylan Francis, which was another like really jokes concept.
So you guys know Dylan Francis?
I mean, he said it on Snapchat and we follow him, so like he's pretty much the homie. And then it was like, all right, this is not working out for Dave. This is not working out for me. I was looking to get engaged. Dave was doing more and more shows in Montreal, which was something that he wanted to do, more like club gigs. And it just like ended up feeling natural. It was like, you know what? I've been going in this direction. You've been going in that direction. Like, there's no resentment at this time. We both realized like, okay, like this is the time to move on. It was super tough. I personally love working with a partner. I love working with a team. I felt that go away. I also, was kind of like losing my best friend to a certain extent, business partner, all of that. It sucked. Like, it really sucked. But I was so happy with my personal life because I was getting engaged and moving out with my fiance and stuff, and so excited. The career stuff really took a back seat, and I was just happy with life. At the end of the day, the toughest thing for me was that we have this huge fan base, which we both appreciate all of the support so much. We have people depending on us and expecting stuff from us. We're going to be letting them down. We're going to be not giving them what they expect from Wonderful anymore. And that was like the toughest part over these past couple of months, is like all these people who we've become like super close with that are our fans but have become friends, and tons of messages and tweets, and growing to love us as much as we could grow to love you guys. How do we move on from that? How do we like keep going in our different directions but not let all these people down? I think Dave and I are independently still working on that. There's no beef between me and Dave. The intention of this video is to let you all know that we're moving on in different directions. I'm gonna hold on to the Wonderful brand, and Dave is gonna continue to make amazing music because he's the most talented producer that I know, and you're gonna find his stuff when he puts it out. And I'm still unsure which direction I'm gonna take the Wonderful project in. I know that it's gonna be fun. I know that there's gonna be videos involved because that's my true background. I know that there's gonna be a comedy angle. I know that there's also gonna be this sort of real talk because I'm just about 30 years old. I've experienced a lot of cool stuff in my life. I have a freelance type of career. I've never had a 9-to-5, and I think that there are a lot of creative people out there that hopefully could benefit from what I've experienced in my life, the ups and the downs, and my perspective on things. So all I could say is, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, more than you know. This has been such an incredible experience. Like, to say that, we've traveled so many places throughout the world, performed in front of so many big crowds, small crowds, shows where we showed up and there were like literally 3 people there, but they were like diehard fans. Shows where there were like thousands of people there, and some of the people in the crowd knew us, some of the people didn't. This has just been an amazing experience. I hope that you stay along for the journey. Send us messages, send Dave messages personally on Facebook, send me messages in the Wonderful inbox. I want to answer all your questions. I want to speak to you. I want to know what's going on in your life too. I'm always interested in collaborating with whoever, whether you're a producer, an artist, a videographer, whatever. I love to entertain, and I love to entertain with people. So thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. I'm Adam, and I'm going to take things one day at a time.